Welcome all of you. Myself, Dr. Gopal Raut, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Radhabai Kai Mahila Mahavidyalaya. In the TYBC, there is a fourth paper that is the Environmental Biology and the Toxicology. In this chapter, the fourth chapter is the Environment and Development. Before going to our lecture, I have to declare that this video is for only educational purpose, no copyright infringement. This copyright belongs to its rightful owner. Credit goes to the respective image and content providers. So, what we learn in this topic? First is bioindicators and environmental monitoring. Second is the environmental challenges in India in this land degradation, population explosion, family welfare programs, urbanization, and the industrialization. The natural environment encompasses all living and non-living things occurring naturally. That is, the natural things are occurred into the natural condition, not artificial. That is the into the man-made conditions. So, what is the environment? Our environment. The environment is where we live. That is, our surrounding is our environment, and the development is what we do all in attempting to improve our lot within that adobe. And these two things are inseparable. Let us see the definition of the development. Development is the improvement either in the general situation of a system or in some of its constituent elements. That is the improvement in the general situation, okay, the present situation or the general situation. This improvement called as the development, or the some elements we have to improve or we improve. This improvement is called as development. But this development causes or raises certain questions because the environmental loss. The one question is must be raised: can the world sustain development without running in resource constraints and despoiling the environment beyond repair? That is, can we sustain our development by despoiling or without despoiling the environment beyond its repair? Because what we do into the with the nature, it is non-reversible process. Let us see the bioindicators. What are the bioindicators? The indication means the pointing out. That is the something indicate some species or something which indicates the certain things. The biological indicator can be defined as the living organisms such as plant, plankton, animals, and microbes which are used for the assessing environmental health and biogeographic changes taking place into the environment. Or second definition, an indicator species is any biological species that defines a trait or characteristic of the environment. Here some indicator species are given. First is the lichen, which grow into the healthy condition. Then the second is the wolfia, is grown into the polluted water conditions. Third is the mayfly. This mayfly grown into the non-polluted water. And fourth is the tree frog. This tree frog grown or well populated into the healthy forest conditions or non-polluted forest conditions. In this, the indicators or biological indicators have two types. First is a biological indicator, that is the ecological indicator, ecosensors, or the ecological indicator species. That is, these are the ecological indicator species. And second is the biological accumulators, the chemical monitoring species, or they accumulate the some chemicals or some elements within it. These are the biological accumulators. Let us see some bioindicators. Organisms, chiefly plant species, communities, or even systems, serve as a measure of the indicator of the environment. If plants serve as indicators, they are called as plant indicators. Each response of the plant is the effect of the some factor or factor complex interacting factors acting as a cause and therefore the indication of this factor, right? So indicators of the potential productivity of the land. First is the forest. Forests are the potential indicators of the plants where the rich soil content or rich soil content is present. Second is the grassland. Here which shows the lower productivity of the land, that is it can't support the huge amount of plant biodiversity. Second is the indicators of the agriculture. Native vegetation of the particular region is the safe criterion for the agricultural possibilities. Thus, the first image is the Erodium cycutarium. This indicates the poor productivity of the land or poor uses of the agricultural purpose land. And the second image is the Cirsium arvens. This species indicates the higher productivity of the agricultural land or ideal agricultural land. Okay. Then the next indicators of the climate. Plant communities having a characteristic of the particular region provides the information on the climate in that area. First is cactus species which indicates the poor rainfall conditions into the area, that is the dry land area, and the second is the forest community, forest vegetation. Okay, tall forest vegetation or rich forest vegetation which indicates the higher rainfall or more than average rainfall. Let us see the agricultural indicators of the soil types. Many plant species are helpful in the indicating the soil types. First is a Soralia species. The purple colored flowering plant or flowering bush is indicates the loam type of soil into the nature. And second is a Viola arvensis, that is this yellow colored small plant is Viola arvensis, which indicates the alkaline type of soil. Then the indicators of the minerals. Some plants grow into the metalliferous soils, that is some elements or content into the soil where these plants grow well. For example, pine and juniper we will use for the gardening purpose or beautification purpose. This pine plant grows into the uranium rich soil into the naturally, and its presence indicates the uranium present into the soil naturally. And the second is the Episetum plebeium. Okay, this plant indicates naturally grows into the gold rich soil. That is the gold is present into the whenever gold is present into the soil, this plant grow well. Then the Valtharia indica grows into the copper, lead and zinc rich soil. Next is the indicator of the petroleum deposits. Some animals as a protozoan phyllocinids indicates the petroleum deposits into the area. So these are the phyllocinids, these are the protozoan. This is the fossil of the phyllocinids which indicates the petroleum deposits into the area. Next is the indicators of the fire. Some plants such as Agrostis epiboleum, Pinum pyronima dominate the areas was destructed by the fire. This is the agrostis epiboleum, which indicates the fire burn area. Indicators of grazing: horses, cattle, goats are the grazers of non-grassy herbs, and sheep are the grazers of the pasture land. That is, in which the annual weeds and short-lived perennials grow well. First is Amaranthus species, and the second is a Chenopodium species. This is the Chenopodium species, and third is a Polygonium species, which indicates the grazing grazing land or grazing field, because they grow better in the overgrazed area and they having a very short lifespan. Next, indicator of the water condition. First is a Hydrilla verticillata. This species commonly we seen into the polluted water, which indicates the polluted water. Then the second species is Atriplane species. This is the Atriplane species, indicates the saline water, and some insect indicators indicates the good oxygen regime. That is, these are the burrowing flies found into the near to the water bodies, indicates the good oxygen regimes present into the water. Then the indicators of the pollution. Plants such as the Uticula chara and the Wolfia grow into the polluted water. Escherichia coli, that is the E. coli, is grown into the sewage water, which indicates the polluted water by the sewage. Algae, the growth of the algae indicates the polluted water. This water having a bad odor and bad appearance. Aquatic animals, suckerfish, guppy, mosquito larva, caronamus larva found into the sewage water, that is, or the polluted water. Planorbis tubifex, rattlefly, sewage fly, rotifers are also the polluted water indicators. So these are some. This is the Wolfia, this is the E. coli, and this is the algae, and these are different kinds of algae present into the water. Next is the land degradation. What is land degradation? The pollution of the land or the contamination or alteration of the natural constituent of the land is the land degradation. In this land management, the land is the most precious resource which supports the human population and other living beings on land. India is predominantly an agricultural country and nearly 44% land is used for the agriculture. 11 to 14% of the land is used for the forest, 4% is the grazing land, 8% is for the civilization and the industrialization, and remaining 14% is the barren land or non-productive land. Due to high population, per capita land is 0.48 hectare in the now condition, and it decreasing in high speed. That is the growth of because of the growth of population. Therefore, we have to require the understanding of the land pollution, utilization of the land. We have to planning to utilize the land and increase the productivity of the land, and we have to manage the land use and the land pollution. These are the some land pollution. First is a forest is cleared and the vegetation is going to burn, and here is the deforestation. This image indicates the mining area. This is the landslide, and this is the another mining area. These are the types of the land degradation, which because of the land degradation there is a certain problems or certain factors responsible for the land degradation. And these are: first is the soil pollution, dumping and disposal of the waste into the land or natural land. The soil pollutant include pesticide, fertilizers, industrial waste, salts, heavy metals. They are they are polluting the soil. Second is the salination of the soil. The increase in concentration of soluble salt adversely affects the soil productivity. That is the u- uh, unnecessary use of the water or excess use of the water, which increases the salt concentration into the soil. This is the salination of the soil, and this is the biggest problem nowadays. Then the soil erosion. The soil erosion by the water, wind, ocean waves, and the glacier. Due to that, soil get erodes from the certain area. Because of the deforestation, this problem is raised nowadays. Then the cultivation consists of the cutting down the trees and setting them on the fire and raising crops on the resulting ash. This is the shifting cultivation. Because of that, two problems are created. First is a deforestation because of that, and second is a pollution because of the burning of the trees. So these two problems created because of the shifting cultivation. Then the deforestation. Deforestation is because of the cutting cutting of trees or forest for the mining, dam construction, or only for the wood, land become barren. So by these ways, the land get polluted or the soil get polluted. So let us see the what are the control measures for the land degradation. First is the prevention and control of soil erosion. In this is the attempting through restoring the forest and grass cover to check the erosion and the flood conditions. Because of that, the soil erosion can be prevented to restoring the grass and forest cover. Second is the change in the farming practices. The shifting cultivation can be replaced by the crop rotation, mixed cropping, or developing plantation crops, which would improve the soil fertility and the supports large population. The crop rotation is very useful practice, or mixed cropping is very useful practice to avoid the soil erosion. Use of biofertilizers. The soil flora maintain the we have to maintain the soil flora and increases humus content. This humus content absorbs huge amount of water within it, and it, it repels or it protects from the soil erosion. So we have to use biofertilizers or organic manures. Prevention of salinity. Use of necessary water only. Avoid the excess use of the water, which which results into the prevention of the salinity of the soil. Use of mulching. The shifting sand can be controlled by the mulching or covering the area with appropriate plant species and by growing trees as windbreaks. Proper use of land. The construction of roads, buildings, industrialization on the barren land, not on fertile land. We have to conserve the fertile land or higher productivity of the land. Proper use of land. The construction of road, building, industrialization on the barren land, not on fertile land. There is extreme care should be taken in selecting the site for the development like industries, construction dams, and the water reservoirs. Essential components of the land management. Uh, these are the essential components for the land management. First is the drawing up a map for the development of the rural and the urban areas with respect to soil productivity. That is the land capacity map indicate the soil productivity and ability to support the various human activities in rural and urban areas. Second is a detailed study of the various aspects of the land. We have to study the detailed aspects of the land by which the program of the land use can be worked out on the basis of such information. Next is the changes of the land use should be shifted and monitored. That is, the changes resulting from the land use have to monitor, and this can be done by the remote sensing. Next, investigation of the natural hazards into the particular area. That is the investigation and the estimation of anticipated intensity of the natural hazards like to threaten a particular area or region should be carried out. Next is a comprehensive study and plan for the land management. The need of the comprehensive study and the well planning, well planning or program of the land management with the view of preserve preserve the land by the reducing or checking the intensity of the erosion or soil sickness should be undertaken. Thank you.